Thomas, Frank, thanks very much indeed for seeing us today. I just wanted to check the injury news first of all. What's the situation with? Hang on a sec. Let me just check my notes. Hang on. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Brian Mbeumo with the coronavirus. Is he progressing well?
Yeah, he's well. Yeah. So need to take. We should be out of the squad. No symptoms, all good, and the rest is already.
Good stuff. What was the overall experience like last week in terms of the build-up and the preparations and the match day experience, like as well compared to normal?
I think it was very close, especially the build-up and yeah, if more or less was playing the game with our fans. Different when you are just and you play the game. I think you didn't notice, but when people are asking me out, of course it was different.
With the result like that, though, in terms of it happened late on in the game and it was against one of your rivals, it must have given your players some added belief, at least, that you can close the gap on that top two in the remaining games.
Yeah, I think definitely gave big belief that the performance in general, the main win, the boost. I think the fitness level looked good, and it's just focus on it.
How will the dynamics be different in this game? Because you're the home side. Will you feel the pressure of being the home team, even though there's no crowd?
The east is no. No, we're looking forward to the game. We know need to win if we want to keep this run, but I think Bromwich job this season. They are favorite to go up. 8-point lead at this moment in time. We will attack, play positive, and be brave.
You're up against Romain Sawyers for West Brom. He seemed to be more effective when you began managing him halfway through last season. Did you encourage him to make changes to his game, particularly in terms of where he was on the pitch? Because he was a number 10, you moved him into more midfield. And how much of a threat do you expect him to carry or to pose against your team?
So I can still talk if I can. Oh, okay, perfect. Sure, we just tried to a little technicality here, so you can still hear me. All good, right? Yeah. I think. Okay, so where do I push when I need to hear them again? Oh. That one. Okay, good. So I think you asked about Romain Sawyers, right?
Yeah. You made a few changes to his game last season. You maybe moved his position slightly. How much of a threat is he going to be in this game? Because he's somebody you had an influence on by the look of it.
First, I'm actually literally sorry that he couldn't get or he would not get the reception he deserved from the Brentford fans at Griffin Park. I think he had 3 top years here, and all of us together helped him to improve to be an even better player. When he left, I think he was extremely important for us. I think he's a true carrier of some of our values in terms of attitude, confident but humble, hard worker, and believing togetherness. And I think he is one of the best midfielders in this division in terms of dictating the game. I think that clearly Slaven looked at us last year, and so he's good in that deeper midfield position with 2. And we know there's no secret that Rom knows that. I know it well. That we need to minimize his time and space on the ball, which is in front of him. So he will be a key player for us to close down.
Just finally, for me, it's your biggest game of the season so far. Is this a chance for players like Ben Rama and Watkins to show just how effective they can be? Because it's how they perform in the biggest games in this division which will determine ultimately whether they can perform in the Premier League, whether that be with you or another club.
Yeah, of course, big games are for big players. So of course, our key players, they need to put a top performance in. and or stay alert, aware, focused throughout the game. And I think it was a very good example from Said last game. I don't think he played his best game, but he had two crucial actions in the last 3 minutes that decided the game. So that's also a part of being a top player. Maybe you're not performing top, but you are consistent and you're ready to take the opportunities when you have them. And that's another skill I think, particularly actually Ollie is bang on that. You can see he's always arriving in the box. He's always doing the right bit. He's always ready to go behind and bits like that. So of course we need these two guys ready to perform on tomorrow. But we know in a top game like this, all our players need to perform on a 7, 8 out of 10, and hopefully a few on a 10. Then we'll be in a good place.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can hear me.
Hi Thomas, it's Phil here.
Try again, Phil.
Can I just ask you what the recovery was like after? Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I just ask you what the recovery was like after Saturday, the first proper game after 3 and a bit months? How are the players' recovery?
They let me think. They were off Sunday, so I hope they enjoyed the good weather. Went for a walk, gave the right supplements. So no, it was fine. I know it was the first competitive game. The good thing was that we played good games against Arsenal and Watford, and a lot of our starters from the Fulham game playing 90 minutes against Watford. So they're relatively in a good place. They've been training well this week, and today was another one. The last training before game, the small-sided games today was unbelievable in terms of competitiveness, intensity, and quality. So yeah, we look fresh and ready, and can't wait to attack.
Slavan Bilic has talked about rotating his squad. This is something that obviously every coach is looking at. He sort of said he's not going to be too prescribed about it. He will look at the players. Is that how you have to be? You may have a plan, but suddenly someone doesn't look as 100% as maybe you'd hope they would have been. So you have to just be able to adapt as these next 4 weeks go.
100%. For me, that's going to be one of the keys where we are trying to be on top of things. Of course, we need to look the players in the eyes and look at them in their performance and see how they perform and try to catch them before they fall apart. If that's very dramatically, but it's not tomorrow. I'm worried. Actually, not against Reading. But then the games are coming really thick and fast, and maybe that's top robustness that they have in a normal season after a more normal preseason, and after some weeks of the season, and they're ready to everything. Then they maybe have a tiny bit more. So for me, it's definitely in game 3, 4, 5, and then going forward where we need to see if we can juggle the squad the right way. Try again, Phil.
And one of the other big talking points has been sort of the use of the sort of break in momentum of a game. Sorry, Thomas. Another big talking point has been the sort of break in momentum that a drinks break can give in a match. It's a useful sort of tactical tool potentially.
I definitely think it is useful. Of course, I understand that also influences us. That maybe if we're on top of the game and then you break it down 1 minute and then you need to start again, that can be difficult. But I think that's just like everything else in a game. You try to break the momentum or you try to change things around. But for me, I think it's very useful that we get good messages across and try to be absolutely sharp and nail it with 1, 2 clear messages for the players.
Just finally for me, in regards to West Bromwich Albion,
you need to say
Fulham travelling to Leeds. I mean, this could be a weekend that drags everyone back into it, and a very, very tight race for the top two.
Yeah, 100% agree. It's either West Brom and Leeds are in the Prem, or it's game on. So we're looking forward to this weekend.
Really.
Say again, Phil.
I think it's me next. Might be wrong.
Okay, sorry. No problem.
Cool. Yeah, hi Thomas, it's Malik here from the Standard. First of all, could I just clarify, because we couldn't quite hear earlier, there was a bit of feedback, what the news was on Brian and Buemo?
Brian is fine. No symptoms, available for selection, and I just need to choose if I want him in the squad for tomorrow.
Perfect, thanks very much. Okay, so looking back at last weekend, Emiliano Marcondes obviously made a terrific contribution. We talked a little bit a week ago about how much the squad was going to have to come into play. So how happy were you to see someone who we haven't necessarily seen the best of all season step up and make such a big contribution?
I think it's crucial, as we just also spoke about before, that we need the whole squad to perform in these 6.5 weeks, because it can't be the same 11 players playing, and we don't want that. And we have a very good squad that can add to our performances. But of course, for various reasons, I'm happy that Emiliano put that performance in for him, because I think he had some tough years here at Jersey Road and Griffith Park. We've been very unlucky. For the team, we need key players that can go in and change the game. And we know with his energy and his power and his just his qualities, he can change every game. And it's not that he's going to be a super sub, because if you continue like this, as we spoke about, also had a very good game against Sheffield Wednesday just before the Corona break. You continue like that, then we just have another top player starting.
Obviously, this little run now is the start of the final games at Griffin Park. Of course, in an ideal world, you'd want the fans there. But does the fact that they're not going to be there take a little bit of the emotion out of it and make it easier to focus on the job at hand, which is obviously trying to push for promotion?
Good question. I think we walked hand in hand with the promotion dreams and the farewell season. I think it was linked beautifully in how we wanted to utilize both things together. And I think the biggest thing with the home advantage is the fans, and when they're not there anymore, it's not the same. So I definitely, and we all do. I don't hear anybody who don't want the fans at the ground. So yeah, we'll miss them, but we'll do the best we can to make the fans proud and make sure they have a memorable season, because all the fans have been to Griffin Park this season, and let's imagine we are making it very magical and we are getting promoted, and they'll remember it no matter if they were there the last 6 games of the season.
And on a similar note, Jurgen Klopp said last night after the Liverpool game that he was proud of the way his players kind of showed how much the fans mean to them. They were putting in that level of performance and intensity without them there in the stadium. Is that a similar message to the one that you'll be drilling home?
Yeah, I would say that it's we play for them. We do, and they are with us in our hearts. We walk onto the pitch, and all the support they give us, the way they can outside the pitch means everything to us. So I think it's that nice double-sided, what you call it, double-sided motivation. You're self-motivated as a team or a player, but you're also motivated to do everything for the fans.
Lovely. Thanks very much, Thomas. All the best.
Thank you.
Hi, Thomas. Could I jump in there? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Just to ask you about Brian, could you tell us a little bit about how badly he had the virus and how confident you would be about throwing him straight back into the starting lineup if he's trained okay?
He had no symptoms at all in these 10 days, so he's absolutely fine. I think when you haven't played football for a lot of days, I think it's a challenge to throw him in the starting lineup, but let's keep that for tomorrow. We'll see what will happen. But he is fine, and he is available, and he can play.
So you would have some concerns about his fitness then, I think you were saying there. I couldn't quite make out.
I think it's that balance. He can definitely not go 90 minutes. So do you want to play him the first 45, 50, or the last bits?
Right.
Yeah, that's the decision to make.
One other thing about the virus, do you think promotion this season is made even more important by the financial fallout from what clubs will experience?
Can we ask that question?
Yeah, do you think the financial implications of the virus makes promotion this season even more important for clubs like Brentford?
No. I think going to the Premier League is a huge economic boost, no matter if it's this season or next season or another season. So we just have a big ambition, big dream, and big belief that we can get promoted, and we'll do everything we can to chase it this season with no fear, just attacking and a positive mindset.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thomas, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I just want to go back to Romain Sawyers briefly, Thomas. Obviously, it's a big blow to lose a player of that quality, but you must be really pleased with the way that the team's not only kind of survived it, but improved as Brentford have done over the last few years when losing players.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, in football you can't always choose to 100% choose to who you want to keep, because there's very reason also salaries and transfer fees you get in and try to build a team. I always a player like Rom, I always prefer to have in my team, but it was the right timing for both parts, and especially Rom when he had that chance to go to his what do you call it, a home club. But what I agree with you is that I'm of course proud of how we as a club and the staff improved the team over the last years, and also not only because you can see our position in the league table, but also our performances and our level of football this year. That has demanded a lot of work and many hours off the pitch and many hours on the pitch from a lot of people, putting everything into place. And I'm pleased with what we are watching every every week. But I'm also ambitious. I want us to do it even better.
Okay, Thomas, thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Jay?
Hello, Thomas. I hope you're doing well. Just a quick question from me. We saw Brentford players take the kneel in support of the Black Lives Matter movement ahead of kickoff against Fulham. And I was just wondering how important you feel it is for football to use its platform to kind of enact social change and support movements such as this.
I think it's important that people have a chance to have a voice, raise it when it's extremely important messages we'd like to get across. Of course, it's a thin line to cross when we're talking about political messages, but I think in this case it's clear. It's a no-brainer. Everybody needs to support that.
Cool. And then moving towards the football, sort of as we enter the kind of hotter summer months, how much of an advantage do you think it is to your attacking playing style to sort of be playing such a crucial game against West Brom sort of in a cooler period at night as opposed to perhaps a Saturday at 3 p.m. during a hotter spell?
Good question. I think if we're on top of that game, West Brom would struggle, and they would hate it. If West Brom is on top of that game with that quality, and we're running after the ball, we will hate it. I think we will last longer in spells without the ball because that's one of the mental part of our game. And for the squad, I think we've been drilling into the players, so really being sharp and disciplined without the ball, because I think we see that as an opportunity to score goals, actually, even if we don't have the ball, because we can break after we win it. But I think that would be very even for both teams. I think we're going to hopefully watch a match against two extremely good football sides that just want to dominate the game and want to attack and want to play positive, and may the best team win.